So I'm addicted to these Impact Nightlines that Hulu has. And if you haven't watched them, please go check them out. There's tons of them you can watch. But I specifically recently watched this one called Burning Man, Death in the Desert. Now, I have never been to Burning Man. I have no desire. It's just not my thing. You know what I mean? But I have friends that have gone. I have a friend that it's like, they go every year. It's something that they're into, but I have never personally been there. So when I heard this story of somebody being murdered, I was like, well, this should be easy to solve, right? Until I watched this documentary film and I realized how massive this event is. Now, I always knew it was a big event, but I guess I just didn't realize that literally thousands of people come to this desert in a short period of time and build a city. I mean, like, this is like a city that's a temporary city for weeks. And that was very interesting. Now, the victim is Vadim Kruglov, and he went missing, and he was identified by fingerprints because they didn't know who this man was. And they found him days later. Like, his friends knew he was missing, right? The group of people. But because this was so massive, this desert city, they couldn't, it wasn't just a matter of go searching. Like, people, you have to ride your bike to get places in this thing. Like, that's how big this event is. The circumstances around his August 30th death was that he was stabbed and that there has never been a suspect or there has never been arrest. Now, there is an investigation. The investigation is ongoing, but there are several problems that these investigators have. And the more that they were talking about it in this documentary, I was like, holy shit, this is almost impossible. First, the remote location, the location itself, and just the elements that are out there. I mean, I've seen, videos when there's been bad weather there and people are stranded and there's mud everywhere. There's also, you got to realize, the sandstorms. I mean, there's a lot of elements that happen during this event or within that location that's probably prohibiting or did prohibit them from doing what we would normally think of when it comes to an investigation to a murder. The other thing is there are no cameras. Like, I don't even believe there's cell service. So it's not like they could track something down, or there's no, somebody's car going through, a light or something like that. And then you can see their tags and, the way that crimes are being solved today. You don't have that sort of modern technology anymore. And then lastly, there was something that I found very interesting about this is people don't use their real names. Like, they all go by these nicknames or temporary names, and they wear these costumes that don't really reflect what they are outside of Burning Man. So there's all of these elements that play into a very, very difficult investigation. I would love to know, my other true crime junkies, what you think about this. If you have not watched this, definitely go watch it. Where are my internet sleuths? I haven't searched to see if this is already being investigated by sleuths, but they do interview his friends. They do interview the investigators involved. What I don't think that they focused on was the events coordinators themselves. I don't remember hearing, now I watched it a couple weeks ago, but when I was thinking about doing this review, I was thinking to myself, do I remember them talking to the event facilitators or people? I mean, you had people that were diehards that are there every year. And another thing is, you don't hear on the news about a lot of crime that happens at Burning Man. And I, again, have not done research, but I'd be curious to know. Obviously, I know that there have not been murders, but I know probably people have passed away. I'm sure there are crimes specifically against women that go on during that. I'm sure there's people that steal and, like, the usual stuff, but I don't hear about that on the news. So I do think overall, potentially, this is a semi-safe event, and I have not heard a lot more. So what I hear on the news is about, the elements, like it rains and pours and everybody can't leave and cars are getting stuck and there's no, running water and food and whatever that is, or the sandstorms. Oh my God, the sandstorms. But that's all I really hear about. I don't really hear about crime. So I'd be curious, have you watched this one? If not, go check it out. Specifically if you're a true crime junkie like me. Again, it's on Hulu, and it's Impact Nightline.